What's going on YouTube? It's Wes here from psychrocklive, and I'm so glad to be back with another video. It's been a bit, like I said, I've been busy with school and stuff, but we're trying to hop on again and continue working for these videos, and these ones are really easy to make for me. And I was going through my channel, and as you can see by the title and what's on the screen right now, we're doing the Beatles studio albums rank today. And I know I did this in like a live stream, but you know, not everybody watches live, and personally, just to keep the channel looking clean and stuff, I don't necessarily keep my live streams up after they're done. And that's also because I play music during them. Neither here nor there. I want to go ahead and do this again, because this is an important ranking in terms of the community of music and the classic rock community. So, this is easy. Honestly, there's not too much to rank here. And I like this list, too, because there's no, like, F tier. So even if you hate everything, it's still the Beatles, and it's still pretty good music. So I just want to add, too, that this is only the UK albums. If you're a big Beatles fan, you know that the UK albums are just superior to the American stuff. The American stuff's cool to collect and whatnot, but, I mean, if we're really talking Beatles albums, we have to be talking about the UK albums. So anyway, let's get into this. To me, I'm going to start with my absolute favorite Beatles album. There's no doubt in my mind. It's Revolver. Revolver is by far my favorite Beatles album. It pushes the envelope of psychedelic, and it really, I think it's the era of the Beatles and the album that really starts making them, this massive genius band. And I think that's really, like, important. So I'm going to go and say that's my favorite. And now, some people might disagree. Some people could go Sgt. Pepper's, or some people could go Rubber Soul. Abbey Road is one I hear a lot. That's just my personal list. After that, I'm going to go ahead and say Abbey Road. Now, I will say that Abbey Road is actually really not my favorite to say, but in terms of ability and how good the album actually is, it's got to be second or first. It's just because it's so influential. I think that there are a lot of tracks on Abbey Road that are massively overplayed, especially in the grand scheme of things when there's so much, zero radio play Beatles music out there. But let's just go Abbey Road second, and then I'm going to go ahead and follow that up with the last S tier, and I'm going to say Sgt. Pepper's. So I'm going to say that's the final S tier. These three are really as good as it gets when you're talking about the Beatles. And then, A is just simple. I'm going to say the White Album. And then I'm going to go ahead and just drop Rubber Soul right after it. Rubber Soul, especially the UK, like I said, we're only talking about those, just really has a feel to it. And it's kind of that, like, glimpse into the psychedelic world before Revolver. It's a little more like 60s boppy than Revolver, not quite as deep, but obviously, it's years before 65 versus 66. I believe. And I love the White Album, but everybody knows there's just a little bit of fluff on the White Album. There's just some stuff I don't listen to. There's some incredible tracks. But, actually, you know what? I think I'm actually going to switch these, just because I can listen to any song on Rubber Soul and enjoy it, but there's some songs that I just don't need to listen to off the White Album. Not that I'd skip them if I was playing the vinyl, but, hey. And then lastly, I'm going to go ahead and drop in Let It Be. And now the reason for this is, if you're a Beatles kind of purist, it is kind of an afterthought. It is after they broke up, it was released. The mixing and engineering is not quite, up to par. Not that it's bad by any stretch, but it's different than, other albums. But it does have a lot of killer great songs on it, so I'll keep that A. I'm going to go ahead and just drop this down to D, just because is it, are we really going to count it? Yes, there are some ones, there's a whole side of score, and then there's one recycled song on the first half. And I do think the other songs are strong, you know. It's All Too Much is great, Only a Northern Song, another great one. But really, how can we compare it to these guys? I don't know. I couldn't. Let's get down to these options down here. I think this is a little bit harder because these start having some very like minute differences. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop Magical Mystery as the first B. It's really good. There's definitely some fluff and just some songs that are just not quite as... a little more generic than other Beatles songs, I would say, on this album. But I still like it a lot. But like Your Mother Should Know, I just... doesn't quite do stuff for me like some of the songs on Rubber Soul or, you know, any of these S albums. But still, I love Magical Mystery. It was the first Beatles album I ever bought. And this is such a nitpicky list because I love all these albums. I mean, you know, in terms of other bands, you put them all in the S, you know, if you're ranking it compared to other bands happening at the time. But I'm going to go that, and then I'm going to go Hard Day's Night, and then I'm going to go Help right after it. I think that's fair. Hard Day's Night has some really good stuff and really nice slow songs, but Help is just as good for me. I think these could be really interchangeable, but I'm just going to put it in that order because that just feels a little more right to me. And this is going to be... I'm going to drop this in the very last B because I think this is... you know, it's an early 60s kind of poppy rock cover album, but I think it's really, really good at that. I think it's really fair. And then I'm going to go Please Please Me, and I hate to say it, but Beatles for Sale. I've been a Beatles fan for so long now, but something about Beatles for Sale, it just doesn't hit me like some of these other albums do. Yeah, there's a lot of good songs on it, but even the cover just does not click. I don't know if maybe I'm the only one, but something about that album just almost bottom tier for me. It's almost D. But I only put this here because it's not all Beatles. It's a lot of George Martin, so it just can't be compared. But something about Beatles for Sale, just as much as I love it, and I really do think it's a fantastic album, it just doesn't do quite what a lot of other bands or a lot of other albums do. So that's my list. I think that's pretty fair. I would imagine that this is pretty similar to a list that I would have made on that live stream that never got posted. But anyway, guys, go ahead and let me know your list. Obviously, this is just my opinion. You can completely disagree, and we're both just as valid. Don't take it personally. Huge Beatles fan here. But I thought, you know, with the new release of the Get Back thing, documentary going on, I thought this would be a great time to finally post my Beatles albums ranked. So go ahead and let me know what you guys think. Or if you completely agree with my list, go ahead and hit that subscribe. I'm going to try to keep posting these videos. I got a lot of good heat that I got to show you guys on camera. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.